Iam Shamar is a Brooklyn native who's released his debut project, Dreams and Reality, a couple of years ago. That was part one. And he's on the line with us here just now. How are you doing today?
I'm doing amazing, Toby.
Great. So how would you describe your overall sound of music?
I would describe it like I do R&B, I do hip hop, I do a little mixed things. I try not to stay in a box. You know, I'm always creating different music.
Yeah. Would you say that you have quite a passion for making music?
I would say so. You know, I've been doing music since I was a little boy. I started out as a writer, actually. I didn't start out as a singer. I started out as a writer. I would write poems. And every 15 poems, I would run to my mom and tell her that I got a new album out, you know. So I always knew that I wanted to do music since the age.
Yeah, and that's interesting starting with poetry because I guess you can determine your genre, but it could be seen as rap or hip hop, and that is kind of poetry in a way, isn't it?
And a lot of those poems that I did write, I ended up turning them into actual songs. So I started doing the poetry. I started to learn about beats and instrumental like that, and I would try to put the poems with music to make it an actual song.
Yeah. And was that ever the intention to make the poems into music, or were you just doing poems to do poems?
When I first started out, I always knew I wanted to be a singer, but I knew nothing about singing. So at the time, the focus was just me writing songs. I wanted to know, basically, write poems. I always wanted to know that.
Yeah. And who did you look up to when you were first starting out in music, and maybe poets as well that you looked up to?
Starting out musically, I've always listened to artists like R. Kelly. I've also listened to artists like Chris Brown, Trey Songz, different R&B artists I look up to in terms of musically and how they were able to create. And, you know, that has always inspired me to, I guess, push my pen and make doper music, and I would say that.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you were to go back and give some advice to your younger self, maybe right at the start when you were writing poems or when you were first starting out making the music, what advice would you give yourself?
I guess just to stay patient and know nothing comes overnight. You know, and, you know, that was something I struggled with, you know, music, was wanting to be a star, wanting to have it all, you know, at a young age. I didn't realize that, you know, there's work you have to put into it. You just don't be a star overnight. You know, you have to work at it, and it's something that, you know, it will happen. You just have to have patience. You have to have faith.
Yeah. And I guess it could be quite easy to give up, can't it? Because there are so many artists out there these days, and you put something up on Spotify, but there's like 40,000 songs also put up that day. How do you manage to stand out after all this time?
I mean, there were many times where I wanted to give up. You know, I remember my first video shoot, and because that video shoot didn't go well, I was literally, I was done with music. I didn't want to do anything because I felt disappointed in myself that, you know, the time had come and I didn't do a good job with my music video. And so I was ready to throw in the towel. But I guess what kept me going was just knowing that how much work I put into, you know, just learning how to do songs and learning how to do music, all of that. I studied music, and, you know, anytime I think about quitting, I always think about how far I've come with music, how long how many years I put in, you know, with music, you know, the times when I was in school and I would be going to shows at night and going to school during the daytime, and you know, always seeking opportunity, you know.
That's true. And the thing is, even if nobody's listening to your music right now, I think I said to somebody the other day that, like, your music will still be on Spotify and all the other platforms in 1,000 years. So you could could get millions of fans in that time. Who knows?
And, you know, I've definitely had some great times, you know, with many of my songs, you know, have gone viral on TikTok. And remember, I did a song called When. And when I was recording the song, you know, in the studio, I was just telling my engineer, I was just like, listen, I don't really know about this song. I don't think it's going to be a hit. I think it's going to be, you know, dope or whatever. And I just remember going back in that studio and finishing the song. And then next thing I knew, there was many people, you know, making videos on TikTok. And I was at an event and I was standing next to a person. A person was, you know, just singing my song. It was like, they win, but they didn't know. They didn't know it was me singing the song. They didn't know it was my song. Wow. And I guess at that moment, I said, wow, you know, you really never know what song is going to really take off. You never know when it's going to be your moment.
Yeah, that is such a weird coincidence.
It was. I was like, wow, that's my song. And he don't even know that it's my song.
Yeah. Did you sort of play it cool, or did you sort of go up to him and go, do you know who did that song?
I didn't even like make it noticeable because I was just so much in shock. I was just like, wow, like he's playing my song. He's singing my song. And I don't think he realized that that's my song or whatever. And, you know, it was just a humbling experience. I didn't really want to mess up the moment. Yeah. You know, I just felt good inside knowing that my music is touching people.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, have you got any other projects coming up that we can look forward to?
Yes, I'm currently still pushing my latest project, Dreams and Reality Part 2. Yeah. But I am getting ready to release a remix to one of my songs that's been doing pretty well. It's called Bust. And I did a feature with a upcoming female artist. Her name is Baby Daddy Snatcher. So I did a remix for her. We're going to be shooting the music video. She's definitely a dope artist. Very, very. She's just a really dope artist, and she's hardworking. And I always love to work with hardworking people that want it, you know, just as bad as I want it, you know. And so, I guess stay tuned to that. You know, it's going to be a dope collaboration. And in the meantime, also I am going to be working on my next project, but for now the focus is on the remix that I'm going to be putting out called Busted.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, where can we find all your music if we'd like to hear it?
You can find my music on all platforms. Iam Shamar. You can type in all your Spotify, iTunes, everywhere. I'm everywhere. Yeah. You can type Shamar and everything will pop up.
Great. Well, many thanks for coming on today. It's been great to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me.